Hello everyone, and I just wanted to start off this video in a very interesting way. So, yeah, this time we're talking about another interesting topic that I just happened to have found and stumbled across. Now, this happened at the end of last year, but I wanted to cover it just to be certain that certain things are happening, and the time frame here is going to be a little bit weird. So, for those of you who may or may not know, I often browse the YouTube Shorts. I really don't like TikTok. TikTok is I don't even have it installed on my phone. I only get sent TikToks by my friends, and that's fine. I'll watch them occasionally. But I don't have a TikTok, nor do I even want a TikTok for several reasons. But the biggest one being that, just kind of not my thing. Other people like it. I don't. I prefer Shorts. Yeah, certainly I'm more of a hipster than some people might say, like blah, 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 and stuff like that. But I prefer YouTube because that's where I'm comfortable with. Kind of just my thing. Plus, I've spent a long time actually scrolling through it, and most of the TikToks get actually recycled onto YouTube anyway. So, at least the ones that I care about. So, that's not to say if you don't like TikTok that's not to say that if you like TikTok that's better than this. I just personally prefer YouTube. So, not to ruffle any feathers here. If you like TikTok, go off queen. Anyway, so I wanted to talk today about this little quick interaction that I had on a YouTube Shorts video which was about the Steam Deck. I'm just going to play it really quickly if I can find it. I'm fairly certain I have it on my phone somewhere. But I'll just play the video clip really quickly. It's not even that long. I'll now talk and I'll explain what it is in a minute.
Even the mole people living in the sewers know about the high-speed chase between police, Spider-Man, and the teens.
Good. Okay. So now that we're all caught up, and you might understand why that video is there, video is obviously about the Steam Deck, and basically the dude came up and, was able to utilize his Steam Deck in the living room and stuff like that. And this one was interesting topic to cover because, in all honesty, I wanted to just see this because this dude is so dumb, and I had to respond in the various formats and just kind of read out the whole interaction. So the interaction that I had, I basically started out by saying the following comment here. This video it's videos like these where I hear the people who hate on the Steam Deck and go, what the hell, this is bad product. Why does he have it? And to see a video like this makes me happy. And I do have one and I do like it, which is all true. Again, I can kind of hear the person saying, when I saw that video, I was like, wow, this is like so dumb that people are going to be upset over this. And I could already see it, even though it was a very interesting, inoffensive video. And you'll see why in a second. This comment actually became a very interesting way for a conversation to happen. As of the couple days, as of a few weeks after the fact, someone by the name of Gusher came up and said, same for certain, it's for a certain audience and stuff like that, and it's people who can't afford a full tower PC. Personally, I would recommend a laptop a little bit more than a full tower PC, but this is for a specific kind of audience, and he's not incorrect in saying that if he likes it, he likes it. Again, I have both. I prefer my desktop over my laptop, but I also prefer my Steam Deck over my laptop because my laptop itself has become inadequate for the job that it has, and I basically just factory reset the whole thing recently in order to put it into my new DJ setup at home, which I really, really enjoyed making, and I'm currently working on figuring out what the fuck to do so I can get some DJ streams off and, actually become more video production, which is going to be fun. By the way, I'm not certain if this is going to be weird or anything to just kind of crowbar in here, but I do actually make music. If you want to listen to some of that music, I have it on both the Patreon, which I actually haven't said that I actually have a Patreon now, as well as in the $1 tier, you can get access to my very first mixtape. But if you want to pay like $5, you can get the whole next mixed 2, as well as the rest of the mixtapes and things that I'm going to be releasing probably throughout 2023, if I can be asked, because it's more or less just editing this stuff together as well. Of course, the full single is also on my on this channel if you want to go and see it. And again, this is the first time I've made music, and I might make like more produced studio style music, so it's kind of weird right now. But I do want to eventually get into making music because music's been a part of my life the entire time, and I've gotten that ADHD spike in adrenaline of like, do it. So, in any case. Moving on to the Crazy Gaming YT. This is our main character, ladies and gentlemen. Please take note of how interesting his argument is going to be. He basically says, switch us better. That's the argument. First of all, I'm going to say, please use spell check and understand that I'm as speaking as someone of dyslexia, as myself, someone who has dyslexia. I misspell words all the time. Double check yourself. Like, double and possibly even triple check yourself to make sure that you don't come off like Crazy Gamer YT right here. All right? Please don't do this. Someone else then asks, how so? With someone then responding with, haha, nice joke. Over the next interaction, we then have me coming back with an I mean okay and saying that you can have a wrong opinion, saying that you can have an opinion, and that's fine. But I personally think that the Steam Deck has a lot more features than the Switch, which is true. The Steam Deck does have a lot more features than the Switch, if you kind of break it down. Why? Because the Steam Deck, while yes, has a console experience, it also has a fully fledged Linux-based desktop, which allows you to do far more on the computer side and the technical side of things. And for those people saying, oh, it requires some tinkering to do, it's like, yes, but everything on PC requires tinkering, at least to some degree. You can stick to mostly the checkmark games that are fully fledged and ready to go immediately for the Steam Deck. And they're constantly adding and updating to that library. And even those that have some issues, even those that have some of those issues, they have those problems listed, so it allows you to make an informed decision to say if you want to purchase or play this particular game from your library. I know for me personally, I have games on my Steam Deck that I don't have on my computer because, one, the computer itself, for me, is for a different kind of game and for a different kind of sit down and play experience. So I have Call of Duty loaded up on this as well as my laptop, but I don't have it loaded up on my Steam Deck because it doesn't really work in the same way, and I don't really feel like having it on there is going to be effective. So yeah, there is a lot more features in the Steam ecosystem than there is in the Switch ecosystem, which we'll get into. So he responds to basically all three of us saying how not so, and I will get into that in a little bit with my amazing response, which basically he hasn't responded to, but I'm going to read it out, not completely. I'll just throw it up on the screen when it comes up. But do note that that my response was huge and very, very, very pedantic and very specific. So if you want to pause when that comes up, I will allow you some time to do so. Anyway, he also says not a joke, because he had the period there. Again, this is where you kind of, do a little bit of that editing or that proofreading. And finally, no, Switch is way easier to do, and it has way more games, and it runs better. I want you to take that argument, internalize it, think about it, and realize that he's wrong. Completely and utterly, 100%, other than that statement of the Steam Deck being easier, which you can make an argument for both ways, that statement is wrong. And here's why. Doing a bit of the research, I'll throw up my response up on the screen. It's a two-part one because I had to do a whole paragraph. And this, again, was in a YouTube Shorts. And this screenshot is specifically from my notifications. So it's a very long response because it took a very long time to do so. So basically, what this says is my entire response to the guy is that, sure, it might be true that the Steam Deck is a little bit easier to set up. However, in my experience, it was actually far easier to just set up what I already had on my Steam Deck. It was merely a transferring of certain credentials from one system to another system. No different than, say, transferring a computer. But in this case, I was only just transferring my Steam stuff. That's it. I was only transferring all of my stuff from Steam to a different computer. So it's like taking a section of your computer and just manifesting it into real life, logging it into a specific thing. And upon this, I also then decided to look up, because he said that it has more games on and it's also saying that it has more games on the Switch than the Steam Deck. First of all, again, I did the research on this, and there was around 971 games, and I list that number out here. I literally just looked it up and looked up a website, and then just scrolled to the very end of it and looked at the number. So about 900 games seems to be the full library of the Switch, at least at the current point and at the time that I looked this up. And again, I could be wrong. I'm 100% open to being wrong. But again, I looked this up on a very credible site that's supposed to archive how many games are on there. This is also, by the way, counting re-releases and games that might not have come out on Switch, but that were ported over to Switch. So again, those 900 games seem to also be games that inquire about backwards compatibility. So yeah, again, I'm not certain how good that 900 number is. But again, I looked this up. That's what I found, and it seems that that's the whole amount of their library. So I then shot back to it by saying, while yes, that's a lot of games, 900 games on one system is a lot, but that's over the course of the Switch's lifetime. I didn't mention this in the response, but yeah, it has 900 games. But that's because the Switch has been out for so long that a lot of those games are still around for the reason of it. And yeah, they have 900 games, but how many of those games are actually popular and still being played? Once you get into the nitty-gritty of like how this sort of number systems work, it really breaks down the argument that there's a lot more games on Switch than there is on the Steam Deck. Because yeah, the Steam Deck does have games and compatibility issues. I'm not denying it. However, when I did and went on to the research, being very conservative, I said that the games that it had was around 900 at launch. Now, again, I think I'm over-exaggerating that number because I think it was more around like 500 to 600 actually compatible games that are like the ones that are 100% Steam checkmark available. And that's still a lot of games, don't get me wrong. And that was all available at the launch of the system. Not only that, that 900 plus compatible games is still growing, and I think that the reason why I included the 900 number is because I think I added around like an extra 200 ones that would be in the yellow category, at least in terms of that. So yeah, but those are like those extra 200 or whatever. So whatever the fuck it is, I slightly over-exaggerated the number a little bit, or maybe even to some PC people that know more about this, I slightly under-exaggerated the number. And then that doesn't even include the games that were for, say, emulation, so adding another 2,000 around that. And that number I did specifically get because most of those games are like part of the ROM system. And the ROM system is weird, and yeah, ROMs technically, the ones that are there are like there is like legal and illegal ways. I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but if you were buying it for emulation, which again is very easy to set up on the Steam Deck because there's literally just one program and you can emulate fucking everything on this thing. And emulation is in the eyes of the law not illegal. Let me get that out of the way. It's not illegal to have an emulation or anything that sort of way for like various factors. So yeah, it's not illegal to emulate games. But I then basically went on this whole fiasco saying that if you want to talk about the Steam Deck and you want to talk about all this stuff, if you are going to say literally wrong information to someone who knows a lot about the information that you're talking about, be sure that you are fucking confident and have a rebuttal and actually have the systems and like methods to back yourself up. That's just the whole thing that I want you to take away from this conversation. I came into there and I just made a comment of how I could tell that people were going to get upset over something like this. And I was right. So yeah, but I wanted to look at this response here. This response is by one of the other two people that was there. I don't think it was Greg. I think it was the other guy. But I wanted to read this one out because this one was really good to read. And I think that this is a good indication as to why I both agree with this person and why I think this person's become my new very interesting online best friend, who I don't need to know anything more about it. Sir, you are fantastic. And you are always welcome in my comment section. Anyway. He says, I have to correct you, though. Steam has way more games than Nintendo, which is correct. So you're wrong about that. The Steam Deck runs the Steam Deck runs way better than the Switch. The Switch is basically just a tablet, bro. Not even a powerful tablet. Whatevs. Like I stated before, the Steam Deck is a PC/console hybrid and way more powerful than a Switch. Again, facts. Like, totally based comment right there. But you are correct about the Switch being easier to use, so you're right on that one, and only by a small margin, I might add to this one specifically. But then again, the Steam Deck really isn't too complicated, and if you just stick to the Deck Verified, then it's easy. Yeah, just as easily as a console. Again, totally based, nothing but facts detected right now. But hey, I respect your opinion, but our opinions aren't fact, and facts. And the fact is the Steam Deck outperforms the Switch in every conceivable way. I would drop the microphone, but I don't want people to get on my ass about that. But yeah, I think this goes to show you that even an inoffensive video that comes out of an interesting comment can lead to some of the most dumbest and terminally online fanboyisms I have ever seen. And quite honestly, it's stuff like this that's keeping me going, and it's people like you who we have now cracked somehow 160 subscribers, Jesus Christ, that keep me going and keep me making videos like these. So we might even end up hitting 200 subscribers, maybe even 300 subscribers, if at the rate that I keep growing in this context. But yeah. Anyway, prepare for more videos upcoming in the month of today. I'm going to try to limit my releases of like shorts and things. So I got the thing Metal. So if you want to follow me on that, I will most likely just link that in the description if you want to see more like consistent content of me uploading clips and stuff. I will release some of those clips to here on my YouTube because this is where my audience is. But if you want to go and check me out over on Metal, give me a follow over there. That'd be fucking sick. But yeah, of course, as always, links to a lot of the shits in the description below. I will also link that dude's video on there. He makes some really good content from what I can see. And in all honesty, I think that the comments here for the people who know and not for the people who know, I will say this. Don't be a fanboy, and you might just see more people and be able to laugh all the same. I mean, you can still laugh and be a fanboy at the same time. I don't care. I don't like go into your internet browsing history, but don't be like this. Anyway, I think I've kept you long enough, rambled on long enough about this. But yeah, my name is GamePanga21. This comment is a complete and utter waste of the time that it took to make this video. But I made it anyway, because it's funny. And a peace off.